Hello everyone, welcome in. I hope you guys are all doing well today. I hope you're having a good day. Hi Chad, hi Odie, hi Dits, and hello Socks, and hello Soren. Honestly, I don't know what was up today, but I was sitting on my starting screen and I was like, man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Mussels marinara is good. I don't even know where mussels marinara came from, but I love mussels marinara. Shout out to mussels marinara. That sounds like a protein pasta. Honestly, it could be an endless amount of reasons. I sometimes go through and I look at the rat names we have and I'm like, we're so creative. And maybe not so much me. Oh my god. Well, I hope your emergency Haru council meetings go better than Haru's emergency council meetings go. I love 50% off. I love 50% off so much. Oh my gosh, I had the worst idea. I've been wanting to do another watch party in the Discord. And I have been trying to think of like, oh, what should we watch? And a clip from Whose Line Is It Anyway came up on my timeline and I was like, man, I do forget how much I love Whose Line Is It Anyway? And any kind of like game changer like show. I know one was a little bit more the blueprint than the other. I think it's just, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't really care about plot lines. I just want to see people goofing off. I want to see people having a good time.
A powerful rat named Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Hi Polly, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys are having a good day today. I messed that up. I stumbled on my words a little bit. That's the kind of day today is. But thank you for following. Thank you for joining the Spectrats. I am excited. I am really excited to get back into It Gets So Lonely here. I don't know what it is, but that game... Really? Let's go lesbians. You know? Beautiful game. So I guess we can just get into it. I guess I don't have much to say. This happens every time. Before we do though, a little bummer. My capture card for my Switch will not work. I cannot get it to work. Rip Samurai Tomodachi Life Island. I was even playing the game because I was like, no, I need to play it on stream. It's not working. I was able to do one stream successfully and then it was like, time to die. So terrible. So terrible. I'll get a new one eventually. It just probably won't be until a little bit later because it wasn't all that expensive. I just have some other things right now that are a little bit more important than playing video games. I mean, I'm ready to get dragged into the sea and drowned. That's what I think is we're going to the beach. We're actually going to the shore. That is the that is the next place we're going. Hey, let's go ahead and switch over. Oh, I forgot I turned the music volume down. Ah, terrible. Okay. I think we were... Good times. Good times. I remember that. I remember when my beautiful gravedigger girlfriend buried me alive and left me to run out of oxygen. She said she would plant flowers on my grave. And she would take care of me, and that's very romantic. We're getting a new girlfriend. Just immediately. Very unfortunate. So, you want to go to the shore? Good idea. What will you discover there, I wonder? This night is far from over, and there are any number of adventures still awaiting you. I hope she drowns us too. And I don't know if I want it to be like a I'm drowning you because you should die kind of way, or in like a I'm a mermaid and so like I'm dragging you under the water so we can be together, but actually you just die and I didn't know that was going to happen kind of way. Or maybe Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, we're gonna be drowning in the ocean. That's why we're going to the beach. I hope that you have prepared yourself in advance, and I do hope, for your sake, that you have learned how to swim. I can swim. Will I? We'll find out. It's very romantic. I have a sneaking suspicion that this skill might come in handy. You follow the path which leads to the shore, supporting yourself on weary, aching limbs which feel ready to snap at the knee beneath the burden of your weight. You are little more than a wisp of a girl, but you have been running for so very long, and your feet are so very numb, you feel like a great lumbering thing. I forgot how pretty the dialogue in this game is. Oh, I'm so excited. You need to lie down, and quickly. Not until we get to our new girlfriend. You only hope, as you continue to run, that you will find a means to escape your current predicament by the shore. It really does feel like... I feel, because it said, like, I hope you know how to swim. I'm assuming... I want to say we do, but for one reason or another, we're not going to be able to. I just don't know what the why we're not going to be able to swim is. Is she going to pull us down and drag us? Are we going to get tied to a rock? Are we going to forget? Are we going to swoon so bad that we forget how to swim? You do not know what awaits you, but you have visions of a harbor extending out to the horizon, cradling a fleet of white-sailed fishing vessels. Surely there will be a kindly fisherman who will be willing to take you far, far away on his boat, to a place where your pursuer will not be able to find you. Oh no! Oh no! Our legs are gonna cramp up and we'll die. That's terrible. That's also terrifying. That's very terrifying. I feel like I don't think this mermaid's gonna save us, so not a good time to make your hip give out. That's my thought. You can imagine, too, the face of this kindly fisherman, a face you have lifted from the fairy tales you read in abundance as a small child. He will have thick, bushy eyebrows and a dark brown beard streaked through with gray. He will look intimidating at a glance, but he will be fiercely protective of you, just like a father. I wonder... Because, when we went to the village, we also envisioned, like, a woman who worked in the village. I wonder if that's relevant at all, like if it being like is it, are we gonna have a whole family dynamic when we, like, are we gonna imagine someone at the castle? Does any of this matter? Yeah, get like the little swimming duck and the little arm ones. Be super stylish. You do not know what fathers are supposed to be like. You are only imagining. It is your imagination, however, which grants you the strength needed to keep going. You run to the shore. It takes some time before you finally emerge from the woods, but finally you do it. How much time, you ask? I cannot answer that. Did I not say that time had begun to lose all its meaning? And we're in a time loop, kind of, I think. I get it. I get it. I think. I don't know. There are no mermaids in public swimming pools, which is very unfortunate. I think your best bet there is the ocean, but the ocean is scary. I think no matter what, I think everyone should become 300% more slay. So if you have an option there, you should go with that. You should become 300% more slay. If you know where mermaids are at in a public swimming pool, send me the address, please. I'll show up in the prettiest thing to drown in. You know those, like, those long robes that are like, oh, my husband just mysteriously passed away and I am inheriting all his money kind of robe? I'm gonna show up to the pool in that. And I'm gonna let my new mermaid girlfriend drown me. And I'm not gonna leave her any of my money because that's gonna be useless to her. She's stuck in a pool. And probably can't go to a bank anyways? But who cares about that? I won't. I'll be dead. I will be dead and I will be happy. The forest is behind you now, at least, and all the awful nightmares that lurk within it. It is still cold, though, and still foggy. I feel like the castle's gotta be, like... The castle route has been, like, their main selling point for this game, so I feel like it's gotta be the best. I feel like... So we've got to save the best for last. Maybe. I don't know anything about the mermaid route, and I didn't know anything about the last route either. I think the route we're on is going to be the most mysterious to me, because I think it's pointing towards drowning, but there's no way to know for sure. I know how we're going in the next one. There were 3 options at first. There's the shore, which we're doing now, the town, which we did last time, and the castle. There's also, it was not an option to select where to go, but there's also the narrator, and I'm wondering if that's going to end up being a route. I don't know for sure. That could just be, it might not, we might not ever do anything with the narrator, but I would like to hope we do. The narrator seems evil enough. It is still cold, though, and still foggy. It is still dark, too. The sun is yet to rise. You can see the moon more clearly now as it hangs above your head, round as any pearl or orb or crystal ball. The moonlight shines down upon the vertiginous cliffs, which plummet sharply downwards to an array of sharp, spiky rocks below. How do you even know these words? Not, like, genuinely. How do you get your vocabulary to know this many words? That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. I do want to know what this means. Hold on. Characters characterized by or suffering from vertigo or dizziness, inclined to frequent and often pointless change, inconstant, causing or tending to cause dizziness. I don't think I spelled it right. Yeah, okay, it's disorienting. They're very tall. It does, this is fun. I've been saying mermaid, she could be a siren. Equally fun and equally as much potential to drown. You felt, upon escaping the woods, a degree of hope, but the sight of these weather-blasted cliffs give you pause. You inhale. Then you frown. Now what are you to do? You did not think this plan of yours through very well. Not that you had much in the way of a plan in the first place. There's little in the way of civilization here. The cliffs are far from the village. How far? You do not know. And you cannot see any houses. Where exactly will you rest your weary head? And what of your weary legs? Sit down in the dirt. Fitfully you look around. There's nobody to your east, nor is there anybody to your west. There's no point in looking south, that is where you came, and when you look to the north, the world falls away from you. The cliffs are too steep to scale, and it is too dark. Naturally, there's not a soul here to help you. There is a soul here to do something else, I think. Kill me. You are on your own. You feel so overwhelmed you could very well cry. You do not cry, however. You know that tears have never helped anyone. You got yourself into this mess. Now you need to get yourself out of it. It is with this thought in mind that you inhale a lungful of salty oceanic air. Then you begin your exploration in earnest. You keep away from the edge of the cliffs, afraid that you might slip and take a sudden, unfortunate tumble into the abyss below. You are not as attached to your mortal body as some humans are, but you do not want to die. You still care for yourself, if only a little. And it is this sense of self-preservation which compels you onwards. You glance this way and that, depressing the tall grass beneath your shoes as you search for a place of shelter. Surely there must be somewhere. You cannot see any likely-looking settlements, but... What is that over yonder? Could that be a roof? You hurry onwards, hope budding anew in your heart, until at long last you reach your destination. There is a house after all out here in the wilds, though it doesn't at a glance look very welcoming. Hello Socks, what's up? How is your stinky cat doing? I hope you're doing well today. We're going to the beach. We're going to the beach for another equally terrible evil girlfriend. Very exciting. Good to know. There are a few constants in life. They say, what is it? Taxes and death are forever, but so is your stinky cat. Ooh, nice. Congrats. I had to take a quiz today, and I cheated on my quiz, but that's okay. That's okay. Crazy thing. My class was supposed to be over, but my professor actually ended up getting really, really sick, and so everything's kind of been on pause, and so they have to extend the class. New professor. The old professor's fine, but they forgot to extend the time on the midterm, so not on the midterm, on the final. Lots of stuff going on. Very terrible. I want this class to be done. The solitary house that you have discovered not so far from the cliffs is rather unremarkable. It is so small and squat you cannot imagine it contains within it more than one floor. You cannot even imagine that it contains much more than one room. Though it is dark, it is not dark enough to mask that the cottage has something of a slant to it. It is leaning listlessly to one side like a drunken sailor. The thatched roof, meanwhile, which tops this dwelling, has certainly seen better days. There's a hole in the thatch. There are several holes, in fact, and parts of it look particularly bare, almost bald. That is rather concerning. Should it rain, you will not be properly protected from the elements. Can you really stay the night in such a place? You have some misgivings, but do your misgivings matter really when there's nowhere else to go? It is not as though you have any other options. It is with a sense of defeat, therefore, that you approach the cottage, which sticks out of the earth like a tombstone. Part of you wants to turn back, but you know that would be foolish. The windows of the cottage are dark, but that does not necessarily mean it is empty. It is rather late at night, after all. Whoever lives here, if indeed anybody does live here, might be asleep. You cannot imagine the owners of this cottage will appreciate being roused so very late at night. You cannot let yourself worry too much about these small details, however. Otherwise, you will never get anywhere. You swallow. The taste of the salty sea breeze is pungent in the back of your nostrils. Then you rap the knuckles of your right fist on the door. You rap quietly at first, but you do not hear any resultant shuffling inside the cottage. Perhaps you did not use enough strength. Emboldened, you rap your knuckles on the door for a second time, more loudly this time. You wait a few moments, but still, you cannot hear anything. Perhaps the cottage is unoccupied after all. You knock for a third time, then wait. Hi Poco, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day today. We're getting a girlfriend. That's what's happening now. And she's going to kill us, and it's gonna be great. Really excited. The third time is, as they say, the charm, but for all that, your knocking goes unanswered. Well, nobody can say that you did not try. More intrigued now than anxious, your fingers find the handle of the door. You pull it down, and to your surprise, it yields easily. The entire cottage is like falling over. Are we really surprised? The door swings back to you. The door swings back for you as if by magic. It almost feels as if this was preordained. You step foot inside the cottage, which is very dark, and glance around. It is hard to see given the lateness of the hour, but the cottage's interior is about as inspiring as its exterior. Which is to say, not very. It is every bit as small and as cramped as you fancied when you observed it from the outside. There are a few cupboards, which lined the walls, a wood fire which has since been extinguished, and a straw pallet on the floor which must function as a bed. Your search is unsuccessful, however, when it comes to trying to locate other humans. cannot find another soul. Surely that is to your benefit, though. If nobody else lives here, then you might as well make yourself at home. Or as at home as one can be, I suppose, in a small, cramped cottage such as this, with holes in the roof. You close the door behind you, then approach the straw pallet. All of a sudden, you feel incredibly weary. The tiredness that assails your limbs is absolute, so intense it overcomes the last of your concerns. You settle down upon the straw pallet, yawning as you do. It is not comfortable, but being able to lie down eases some of your aches and pains. Lying down, even on an uncomfortable makeshift bed, such as this one, is better than standing. It is far, far better than running. Your eyelids fall shut, your lashes melting together. And, soothed by the sounds of the wind and the distant rolling of the waves, you fall asleep. Then, you begin to dream. It is not uncommon, of course, to dream. The best and the worst of us do it, from queens in their castles to peasants sleeping in the straw. Why, who is to say that all you have observed tonight has not, in a sense, been a dream of its own? Would that make your nighttime fancies, then, a dream inside a dream? Perhaps our dreams are empty, hollow things stacked inside one another like little wooden dolls. Is that not a whimsical thought? How very droll. Your dreams, however, cannot be called whimsical, and neither are they particularly droll. They are not pure fabrications, as dreams sometimes are, fleeting fancies which can never come to pass. Your dreams are of rather more pernicious sort. In your dreams, you are at the conservatory, with your red hair tied back into two prim-proper braids. You are walking through the courtyard, clutching your books to your chest as you make your way to the library. Your head is bowed so as not to look at the faces of your passing classmates. You do not want to meet their eyes. There's definitely something evil. There's something evil and unknown about it. These girls, with their sensible braids and their sensible shoes, are merciless. You hunch your shoulders together in this dream of yours so as not to draw their attention, but alas, it is not enough. You stumble, clumsy thing that you are, and you fall, and just like that, all eyes are upon you. They are staring at you. They are laughing at you. You lay there on the ground by the fountain, your books scattered in your skirt in a woeful state of disarray. Yeah, I have nightmares all the time, and I don't have a girlfriend. Where is the girlfriend who is out to get me? I know she exists. Your knee hurts. Is it bleeding? You examine your injured leg, trying not to cry, and as this transpires, you hear a voice. All of us having bad dreams and no crazy girlfriend? I guess so. We should start a club. One of your classmates is calling out to you. She has acknowledged you. You look up shyly, tears beating in your eyes, at a girl taller than you, and prettier, and much more refined. Crazy theory. I have nothing to support it, and I don't even think it's true. But the girl we're describing is the narrator. And I just think that'd be crazy. I think I'm wrong, but I do think it'd be really funny if, like, it's like, oh, you're having a dream about a girl who's prettier and taller and much better than you, and is also, like, endlessly pursuing you. I don't think that's the case here. She extends her hand towards you. I think what's more likely to happen is that this other girl is about to be mean to us too. Does she mean to help you? It cannot hurt to try, can it? Hesitantly, you reach out to accept her offered aid. Her fingers curl around yours tightly, perhaps too tightly. Her nails dig into your skin. It hurts. Deftly, the girl pulls you up to your feet. Your legs feel weak from your fall, and your knee is still aching, still bleeding. You stumble, feeling out of sorts, but you are not afforded much of an opportunity to gather your bearings. The girl's hands are on your shoulders. She is laughing at you. Then she is pushing you. Can we give our main character a gun? I think a lot of problems would be resolved. Actually, that's a lie, because we got buried alive when we were sleeping. We couldn't have solved that one. We were cooked there. But maybe that wasn't so much of a problem. The sound of the fountain and the running water which drums against its basin is all of a sudden very loud. It is overwhelming. It surrounds you. Then it engulfs you. There we go, into the water. It is cold as ice. You cannot breathe. The rushing of the water continues, echoing in your eardrums over and over, and then? No. You do not want to remember this. What good will it do? It is in the past where the past ought to remain. You are never going to go back, not even in your dreams. It is this determination which forces you back into the world of waking with a start. You gasp like a fish as you sit upright. Maybe she'll like that. Your eyes unnaturally wide. You feel wearied from a lack of sleep and, with half-lidded eyes, you glance about. I don't think we did a very good job at it, considering we spent all that time remembering the worst parts, and then we were like, actually, never mind. We already remembered it. It is still dark inside your cottage, the sky visible from beyond the window splashed still with stars. How long were you asleep? You are not sure. Your dream was so very detailed. It really did feel that you had been transported into a different time, into a different place. When you inhale, you can taste rank, foetid water in your mouth. Tentatively, you pat yourself down, your fingers trailing against the front of your uniform. So vivid was your dream, you half expect to find that your clothes are damp. This is not the case, however. You are, in fact, perfectly dry. Well, now what are you to do? Will you go back to sleep? That sounds like the best option available to you. You are very tired, but your senses feel too overwrought, all of a sudden, for sleep. You do not think you could bear it. On unsteady legs, you rise to your feet, then stand by the window. Oh. Interesting. You can't just throw an O into a word. That's not allowed. I beef with silent letters. I hate silent letters. You look out to the starry sky and to the pitted moon which hangs amongst them, and you frown. Of course they would throw an O into a word that does not have an O in it. Terrible. Terrible. You can hear the wind outdoors howling like an injured animal, and, more softly, the ebb and flow of the waves as they meet the cliffs. But that is not all. What is that sound? Why, it is almost like singing. The voice is far away enough that you cannot pick out any individual words, nor even the individual syllables, but there is a haunting quality to it all. The singer, whoever they are, possesses quite the pretty voice, high and clear like a bell. The song is a melancholy one which stirs your heart. Curiosity takes root inside you, as it did during that fateful day you found that book in the library. Oh, that's interesting. Logically, you know that you should not go outdoors to seek the source of that singing, but emotionally? That is another matter altogether. You really should have learnt your lesson by now. You should know better than to go sticking your nose into business which does not concern you. But naughty little girls such as you never do learn. You cross the old fisherman's cottage as though in a dream, then reach for the handle of the door. The handle depresses easily enough beneath your grasping fingers, and the door opens with a click. The rest of the world yawns before you, framed in the doorway, all of it bathed in moonlight. You thought it was cold inside the old cottage, but it is colder still now that the door is open. I want to know how the narrator knows a lot of things. How does the narrator know what's happening in our dreams? An unpleasant wind rushes forth to meet you, knifing mercilessly through the fabric of your uniform. You look across the cold, inhospitable landscape, your fingers clenched into fists at your side. Then you step out into the unknown. Let's go to the beach, each. You canvass the cliff face, led by nothing more than that luxurious singing. So haunting and ethereal is this voice as it hangs on the breeze, it would be enough to send 1,000 ships off to war. You keep walking into the night until you reach the very edge of the cliffs, where they drop downwards into empty air. You ought not to go any further, but the voice has yet to cease. You can still hear it echoing inside your head. It compels you to act. You look down at the shore, which seems like a dizzying distance away, then out to the ocean, which is breaking against the scattered rocks below. Your eyes narrow with determination. Then you take a step towards the cliff. Is the game audio too loud? I was adjusting my audio, but the music is louder than it was on the menu. These cliffs are steep and the rocks below them are sharp. You can see them glinting in the darkness, their tips jagged like the teeth of hungry predators. Okay, that's what I thought. The game has betrayed me. Well, now it's getting quiet again. Terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. Okay. So, just a teensy bit more. There we go. Cool. Thank you, guys. The music is quiet again, so really, really pointless venture on my end. You can see them glinting in the darkness, their tips jagged like the teeth of hungry predators. The cold wind blows, rocking your hair, and you shudder from it. Your shoes are not built for scaling cliffs, and your heels do not have much in the way of purchase, particularly not when the cliffs are so steep. Clinging to the cliffs is no small feat, yet you are determined to ease yourself down onto the shore, in one piece, preferably. One Piece? The One Piece? The wind is so powerful, it feels as though there is something deliberately malicious to it. You wonder during your descent if it is meant to knock you off your perch on purpose, to cast you down to the rocks below. Well, if that is what it wants, then you refuse to give it the satisfaction. You can be awfully stubborn at times, and now is one of them. You continue to climb. How long have you been at it now? Until at long last your feet meet the shoreline below. You have made it, and you did not sustain too many oh my gosh, injuries. Terrible. Hold on, I'm sipping my water. Today's the day I cannot read. Okay. Your palms are throbbing, yes, after gripping those rocks, and you might have a few cuts, but your wounds are of a shallow and superficial sort. Things could have been worse. You flex your fingers, they feel uncomfortably numb and cold alongside it. Your skin is prickling, but at least you can still feel discomfort. At least it is still attached to your bones where it ought to be. Your vital organs concealed within the hollow cavity of your body. You have a lot to be thankful for. This night has, by and large, been quite successful. There are no longer any obstacles between you and the mysterious voice which lulled you outdoors. Now you must find them. You set off down the shore on the hunt of the singing voice which has captivated you so. You sidestep sharp, jagged rocks which jut out of the sand like teeth. The rocks which cannot be circumnavigated. Meanwhile, you clamber over. All the while, the sound of the sea mingles with that of the singing. It provides an ethereal, haunting backdrop to your exploration, one which further adds to the surreality of your moonlight stroll. The waves lap against the shore, then recede shyly, pushed and pulled by the bleached white moon which hangs overhead. The oceans that you have seen in your library books were all blue as sapphires, but this ocean is different. It is so late at night, it looks black instead. The undulating surface of the water reminds you of a mirror, though. Its depths are even deeper and much more mysterious. Not the British Ocean! Oh my gosh! I think our toxic mermaid girlfriend who's gonna kill us might be British. That might be the worst thing of all. Girlfriend, good. Toxic, good. Mermaid, good. Kills us? We can work with that. British? I don't know. I don't know about that one. So sorry, British people. Not really. A sense of foreboding settles upon you, but you try to quash it. You will not let yourself be afraid. Go back, go back, go back. Hold on. How do I... It is over! It is over! Put me in the ocean! Drown me right now. Right now. Please. anything for you. Anything for you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman. Hey, little mama, and hey. Oh, she's so pretty. She is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we're cooked. We were already cooked, but now we're like cooked. You round a corner, your feet unsteady in their sensible brown shoes, and then at long last you see her. There's a woman sitting upon a rock out in the ocean. The woman's eyes are closed and her lips are parted, her expression soulful. She is singing. Her hair, which is fair, flutters around her face like a shroud, which adds to her otherworldly aura. Yeah, we are charred, like, burnt beyond recognition. Her eyes might be closed, but her lashes are long and luxuriant like a doll's. I think she's forgiven. I think she's forgiven. I think I forgive her. She can be British. She can be British as much as she wants. You know, she could do whatever she wants. She can do nothing wrong ever, actually. If she's British, then I'm in the wrong for not opening my third eye and understanding that. Her lips, meanwhile, which are parted in song, are soft like the freshly plucked petals of a flower. Her face is perfect, as are her proportions. That's a crazy thing for us to roll up and be like, wow, she's so pretty. Her proportions? Her neck is tall and slender, like the stem of a flower. As for the lower half of her body, meanwhile... Yeah, she's kind of a baddie. Well... We roll up immediately. Damn, you fine as hell, I won't you. Yeah... Aren't we all? Aren't we all deep down inside? Like what? She's so pretty. She's so pretty. It is nothing like anything you have ever seen before. It is here and here alone that the woman betrays your narrow human definitions of beauty, for her legs are non-existent. I've rolled up to this being like, my girlfriend can drown me and that's fine. So I feel like between the two reactions of like my girlfriend who I have not seen yet can drown me, and then actually seeing her and be like, wow, that's a beautiful woman. I feel like one of those is a little bit stranger. Save some gender for the rest of us, and also please I'm in love with her. I'm in love. Rather than two awkward appendages, this woman has instead the sleek shimmering tail of a fish. Is she not then a human? She cannot be, not with a tail like that. This unusual sight makes you gasp, and quite audibly at that. You do not mean to be rude, but you cannot help yourself. Humans tend to react poorly to things that they do not understand. At least you do not scream. That would be even ruder. Like our legs? She's looking at us. She's looking at us with those big ol' eyes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, I was just gonna kind of read normally this time around, but I think I should be shot for trying to even attempt to voice her. She's too pretty and there's no living up to that. I think if I try it, they have to put me down. I cannot do Ash Ketchum again, and I cannot be British. I don't know how. I don't know how to be British. I don't know how to be I don't know how. Ash is just my only option at any given moment. Terrible. Terrible, 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 awful, awful. Nightmare scenario, nightmare scenario. If there was like a translate... This is not professional development. I'm trying to think of British people. Mary Poppins. The Queen, I forgot to... Oh, shoot, I accidentally pressed the button. Shoot. I know at least one British celebrity. Hold on. Is Doctor Who a British TV show? Is Daniel Radcliffe British? I did not know that. Hold on. David Tennant. We have the Queen, David Tennant, and Mary Poppins. I don't know what any of them sound like. Oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You meant to observe the mermaid from a distance, but it would appear that your shocked gasp was loud enough to attract her attention. I didn't watch Harry Potter. I don't know these things. I guess... Do I know any of the Harry Potter actors from anything else? I've never seen... Nope. No, I don't think I've seen any of them in anything else. I didn't watch any of those movies. I will write that down. Do I want to be sad? No. But I'll write it down anyways. I'm stalling. Oh no! Doesn't she have like, I think the most I know, like she's insanely evil, and that may or may not be because of the mold in her walls. That's the most I know. Yes. I know that, and I know there's mold in her walls. And part of me is like, maybe the mold is making her evil, and she can still be helped. But the other part of me is like, maybe the mold is emanating from her for being transphobic. Like that's her punishment for it. So I don't know if we want. I feel like it's got to be the first option, but I don't want to deny the fact of the second option. It's crazy to me. Why would you put your money towards transphobia when you have mold in your house? You have bigger things to worry about. Terrible. Why would you put your money towards transphobia anyways? But like, she's weird. She's weird. The fish-tailed vision sitting upon the rock is looking at you. Her gaze is so piercing it feels almost as if she's looking through you. Your heart seems to stop inside your chest, as if by some manner of magic spell. You thought the mermaid pretty when you first observed her, sitting on that outcrop of rock, her face turned in profile. Now she's looking at you, however, you can see that you are mistaken. She's not just pretty, she's beautiful, so much so it is almost unnerving. I feel like, just based off of some of the things that are in the books, like that I've heard, like how she names characters, I'm like, I think she might just be very evil a little bit. Which I'm like, I did not know that. I did not know that. I guess I've known about J.K. Rowling for too long, because I did not know that. That's crazy. Open your third eye and be true to yourself. Deal with the mold in your house. She looks as though she has stepped out of the pages of a picture book. She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she has some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination? But no, she is none of those things. Her tail might be an impossible thing, but its scales look slick and wet regardless, like those of any fishes one might find at the market. These scales are iridescent and, bathed beneath the light of the moon, they almost seem to glow. The sight of her rather takes your breath away. You look at the mermaid. She looks back at you. You prepare yourself expecting some sort of altercation, but the surprise soon fades from the mermaid's face. Her lips, which once were pursed in a frown, now shift upwards. She is smiling. Oh. No, I need her to stop talking. She can do no wrong, I just need her to stop talking. The more she talks, the more I have to talk. I don't know what a British person sounds like. Wait! Oh, what's his name? What's his name? What's it? Shoot, I do know. Hey, little Baba. Shut the fuck up. Thanks. So sorry. Oh, she's so, wait, she's smiling. I'm so sorry. I did not mean it. I did not mean it. Say as much as you want. Please keep talking. Please. Look, the hole in this rock almost looks like a heart, and it's like symbolic of our love. Yeah, we're not doing an Ara voice. That's crazy. I'm trying to think. I know a British person. What's his name? He played Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit movies. Martin something? Maybe? Which, by the way, the Hobbit movies are so mid, except for the guy who plays Thorin. The guy who plays Thorin is so funny, because he's so in love with Bilbo Baggins. Then she says in a refined sort of voice, I liked them when I was younger, but then I read the book again and I was like, wait a second. This is bad. My least favorite thing about the Hobbit movies is the old dwarf will like Thorin will kind of throw a fit and like storm off, but only a few feet, and start sulking to himself. And the old Hobbit will be like, well, you see his tragic backstory, and then it will flash back to the tragic backstory, and then it cuts back to the present, and Thorin will be standing there, and everyone in the room will have gotten up and surrounded him, and just be, this will all be happening a few feet away from him every single time. And also, they took out the funniest part of the book. They changed the funniest part of the book, and it makes me so mad. I don't understand how people are like, no, Sam is in love with the other girl. No, he isn't. He does not mention her ever. He's too busy thinking about Frodo. But I think the biggest thing the Hobbit movies ruined, Bilbo Baggins is a bitch. Like, in the books, he is such a bitch, and I love him. And they just did not, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that in the movies, and it makes me very sad. It's so terrible. I cannot believe they ruined the funny parts. They ruined every scene ever, actually. And the weird little love triangle. I don't care about that. I think it's all worth it to see Thorin and Bilbo's romance just to watch it once, but I don't know if I'm gonna ever watch them again. I'm really stalling. I really do not want to read. Terrible predicament. Favorite genre of games is reading games, but I do not want to read. Well, she just has a refined, higher voice. We'll see what happens. Whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. Then she says in a refined sort of voice, My, really is good to see a human again, particularly a human girl. I was beginning to fear that your kind had all disappeared and I would no longer have anybody left to tell me of the world above the waters. Girl, just stick your head up in the air. What? That's the crazy thing, right? It's one thing to be like, okay, time to practice voice acting on my own time. And it's another thing to on stream be given a character and it's like, and they're British? What? Can't do that to me. I don't know anything. I can't process information. My, this is quite the effusive greeting. The mermaid's introductory speech is positively brimming with the excitement of a sweet girlish variety. She is rather more amicable than the fine polish of her syllables would make one suggest. You might be a well-bred lady yourself, with an accent to match, but you cannot help feel overwhelmed. We're British too. Oh my gosh. Anxiously you observe the mermaid, and you ask her what she means. What happened? As to that, I am afraid I cannot say. I've been sitting on these rocks and singing for many, many nights, but nobody has come to see me. Well, there's not a village nearby. So, I wonder... there's only the one little hut here, so I'm assuming maybe someone was here. But maybe if people were here... maybe the people she's referring to are the people in the village, and she does not know. It could also just be that she kills everyone. There have been no lovely humans for me to play with. I was beginning to wonder whether your kind had disappeared altogether. I feared some manner of calamity had occurred while I was slumbering beneath the water's surface, and your kind had been eradicated. You shudder, then reassure the mermaid to the contrary. She's lonely? Or maybe she's hungry. Who knows? You do not know about the humans that she used to speak with, but you, at least, have not been eradicated. You're still here. Yes, well, I can see that. The mermaid answers with a light laugh. It really is a relief. My fellow merpeople who live beneath the water told me not to worry so, but I could not help myself. I've always been fond of you humans. It was rather sobering sitting here night after night all on my own. It gets so lonely here. It gets... Oh my gosh, title drop. We did it, we won. Now that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches inside your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? So, dear human, did you say that you are unfamiliar with these parts? Hesitantly, you examine the mermaid. Thoughtless though you might be at times, you are not so very self-centered that you cannot detect the note of longing in the mermaid's voice. It is evident, as she looks to you, that she is hoping for a particular answer to her query. This answer, alas, is not one that you can furnish her with. You do not want to lie to her. It is after some hesitation, therefore, that you reaffirm your earlier words, though this time you embellish them. That's interesting, because I think when we did the graveyard one, we didn't embellish it. I think we're like, no, we've just got to give it to her straight. You tell the mermaid that you are a traveler from a far-off land, one which is very dissimilar to this one. It is not a complete fabrication. You tell her that you have only just arrived by the shore and you are unfamiliar both with your immediate surroundings and those further afield. If there is a village nearby, then you have never set foot in it. You do not know what this village is like, nor how many inhabitants it boasts. You do not know if a calamity, as the mermaid grimly supposed, has struck this land. But if she fears all the humans within the immediate vicinity have been laid low by some mysterious malady, then she needn't worry overly on that score. You are still alive. Yeah, I mean... Like... I think our useless lesbian is very easy to enchant. Literal siren, enchanted. Plain and simple gravedigger, enchanted. Mysterious narrator, probably at one point enchanted until we got scared. Are you not, you wonder, enough to satiate her curiosity with the human realm? Yes, that is true. You are here. I'm grateful naturally for your company, although... Wistfully, the mermaid sighs. I was rather hoping you might be able to bring me some news of the nearby village and of its inhabitants. This makes you wonder. Was there a particular person from this village she was close to? So, you were able to work that much out, the mermaid answers with a small smile. You are an intelligent one, aren't you? Your past professors would beg to differ on that score. You were always awful when it came to academics, mathematics in particular. You can never get your head around all of the numbers. Your stern, stony-faced maths professor used to despair in you. But she is not here. None of them are here. It is just you now and the mermaid, and she does not need to know about your dismal academic record. You allow yourself a small smile, touched by her compliment, and tell her that it was nothing more than a lucky guess. Yeah, we don't have to worry about math. We need to worry about all the beautiful women out in the world who are ready to kill us. And how we're going to woo them. For a guess, it was remarkably accurate. You are quite right. I did have a close friend from the nearby village. She was very dear to me. Internally, you congratulate yourself on this piece of detective work. How very clever you are. There are many humans in this world. Of that I know. The human who spoke with me, however, was special. She was my human. You do not fail to catch the possessive note in the mermaid's voice. Don't worry. You need a new one. I'm right here. I am right here. And I cherished her dearly. She would come to me on my rock late at night when she was finished with her chores, and we would talk. I asked her a good number of questions about the human realm and about her customs. I fear my endless inquiries must have been rather tedious, but she was always happy to indulge me. I don't think she killed this person. I don't think it's impossible that she did. But I think it is more likely... I want to say this is... Like, was she friends with the gravedigger? Hi, Smokey. Welcome in. Welcome in. Sorry, you joined during ad break. Very terrible. Very, very tragic. So sad. But welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I guess if you're in ads, you can't hear that. So sorry. So sorry. I need to drink water anyway. I should have made tea before stream, but I just did not get to it. I guess so. I feel like maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself in theories. It's like a non-zero chance, but it's also definitely like less than 1% chance. Maybe, I don't know. She never once scorned me for my ignorance, and neither did she make me feel like a fool. She always made time for me, no matter how many demands she had on her time. Welcome back from ads. So sorry, but thank you, Smokey. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day today. That would be more interesting, is that it's the gravedigger's mother. She was a farmer's daughter, and she was awfully busy from dawn until dusk, threshing hay and taking the animals out to pasture. She told me of her work and I marveled at her. Slender though she was, she possessed a truly tremendous amount of strength. Okay. Nope. Nope, totally different then. I, who have lived in the ocean all my life, cannot countenance working as hard as she did, but she bore her burdens without complaining. She was not the prettiest human who has walked the earth, but that mattered not to me. Then what? She was a little ugly, but I didn't care. Her conversation was engaging, and I knew through our continued encounters that she meant no ill will. I mean, personally, if I was her human, my hands look like this, so her hands can look like this, you know? I would be the breadwinner. I'd be the breadwinner for her. She did not have even a single drop of malice in her heart. I really was gonna, like, try my hand at the British accent, but I genuinely don't know what it sounds like. The more I'm like, what would this sound like if somebody said it in a British accent? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. The wistful manner in which the mermaid speaks of her friend makes you feel, for a few brief moments, a flicker of some ugly primordial emotion. Could it be jealousy? It is painful, isn't it, to hear others wax poetic about those they hold dear. Particularly when you yourself have never been regarded in so intimate a manner. Yeah, I guess if it's not a real accent because British people are a myth, then there's nothing I can do about it. I can't imagine something that doesn't exist. Well, you're a step ahead of me because I can't do one. I can't do any sort of... That's really good. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to be able to do like a classy British accent and also the like really just ridiculous accent. I can't do it. I can't do it. Terrible. Maybe the real useless lesbian was me all along. You have for many, many years been woefully alone. But you are not alone now. You are with the mermaid, and she is with you. And though she might prefer to be in the company of an industrious farmhand, the farmhand is not here. Where did she go? Oh, if only I knew. She quite simply disappeared one day, almost as if she had been whisked away by a wicked spirit. It seems like quite the anticlimactic ending for such a close relationship. Did the farmhand not tell her companion beforehand that she might one day disappear? Yeah, so sorry. My last girlfriend probably didn't kill her, so there's that. No, she did not. Nothing of the sort happened. It was all very sudden. So you ask, feeling affronted upon the mermaid's behalf, did she not give you any warning? Not a single one. And when you ask, did she disappear? I do not know, in truth. Time is a strange concept to beings such as myself, particularly as it seems to ebb and flow differently both above and below the surface. Well, didn't we just learn that time means nothing, actually? So I think we're set. You humans have a strange compulsion to pin down and to place labels upon everything. You have names for your seasons and for your months and even for your days of the week. It is all very precise. We merfolk, however, do not bother with such affairs, perhaps because we live for so much longer than you humans do. We have no need to obsessively document our days, not when we have so many of them at our disposal. This curious remark catches your attention. How long exactly do mermaids live for? The mermaid does not look much older than you do, but you cannot help but wonder. My, nosy, aren't we? The mermaid asks, and she laughs, a soft tinkling sound like that of a bell which makes you blush. Were you being nosy? Perhaps you were. You have always had a thirst for knowledge, not of the dry, dusty academic variety, but of stories peopled with strange persons. What? Literature was the only subject you were ever any good at. Again, it is hard for me to quantify, but to put it in terms a human like you can understand, I suppose we mermaids can live for centuries. Centuries? Let me look at the phrase again, hold on. But of... Oh! Oh, okay, I get it. You're putting strange people in the stories. I get it. Oh my gosh. Hey, little mama. Let me be a brief moment in your eternal life. Let me... What do immortal people do? They, like, suffer? Hey, little mama, let me grow old and age and die as you watch all your loved ones wither away, but you'll never get the same experience. Aha. You up? Oh no. That is quite the surprise. But perhaps it shouldn't be. You have been subjected to any number of surprises tonight. What is one more to add to the pile? Maybe she came to visit her, but because she was old, she slipped and fell off the rocks, considering we had to scale a cliff to get down here. I have not been waiting quite that long, however, for my friend to return to me. Oh, they were just friends, guys. Guys, they were just friends. I think it has been but a few seasons. It might not sound like much, but... never before have I been so aware of the passage of time. I've experienced any number of wants during my life, but I've never wanted anything quite as badly as I want to see her. And they were just friends. Yeah, not even roommates. They could be if her friend's body somehow ended up in the ocean, but I get the feeling that's not the case. I wish she would sit with me and she would talk to me just one more time. But perhaps I am asking for an impossibility. I've been waiting for long enough now to presume that she will not be returning to me. I fear that something must have happened to her, or to her family, or perhaps to her whole village. I wonder if this is something that gets mentioned in the third one, like in the third route of how everyone is missing. Because obviously they're kind of all in the same-ish area. Interesting. I feel like the narrator might have done it. It's a non-zero chance. She could drown me even if it didn't mean living together. But if we get to live together, I'm jumping in the water so fast. She's not even gonna have to hold me down. I'll figure it out. So sometimes I think I'm going to say things and then I remember that I shouldn't. I will cease here. Which is crazy because it's like, it can't be like you're always gonna be alone. You'll never have anyone else except for me and these three beautiful women who are gonna kill you. Oh, you're gonna want me so bad. Look at this beautiful mermaid, but you want me so bad. No, Chad heard me loud and clear. Thank you, Chad. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. I feel like the train of thought was there. You can hear the worry throbbing in the mermaid's voice, so potent that for a few moments you swear you can feel the depths of her sorrow within your own breast. Her sadness over this human girl is a deep, dark thing, almost fathomless. You cannot let yourself indulge in it for too long. Otherwise you fear you might drown in it. We'll be drowning in something else later. The water, the ocean. Ruefully, you tell the mermaid once more that you cannot help her. You are only a traveler, after all. What do you know of a single insignificant farmhand? Don't say that to her, in a nearby village. Yes, I thought you might say that. It is quite unfortunate, but... oh well. I ought not to reflect upon all that I am missing. That would be churlish of me, and it would not be fair to you either. You do not approach me, I am sure, with the hope of hearing about all of my woes. You should be grateful instead for all it is that I do have. I still have my long, long life, which stretches before me like a golden cord. And of course, I have you now. I mean, you do, but it's crazy that she just assumed that we're like here. I don't know. There's a lot of words that like I can kind of use context clues to understand kind of what they're getting at, but not the exacts. And I think that's one of them. It gives off the vibe that it would mean like kind of rude though. Yeah, she does have us. She is right. And she's smiling. Oh, how could I say no to a face like that? Yeah. Does she? Do I not? I have to go soon before my absence is noticed, but will you not come and visit me again tomorrow night? I think I would like that. I have always enjoyed speaking to humans, who make me feel less alone. I cannot help but feel as the mermaid observes you with those enchanting eyes of her, that she does not truly wish to speak to you for your sake. She wants to use you instead. I mean, damn, okay. As a substitute for the farmhand that she's been missing so very ardently. The thought stings, though you really ought to be used to it. It is fun that it's like sometimes we're thinking and sometimes we're just saying whatever. I would really hope we weren't like, I don't know, stupid farm girl from a village. I just travel here. Insignificant farmer after she just spilled our heart. But I do think that might have been a thing we said. Still, to be held in lower esteem than a farmhand of all things, it makes your self-esteem sting. You try not to let the mermaid notice this, though. Hey, little mama, wanna go to couples therapy? The woes of your past are not her fault, much as the woes of her past are not yours. I will say hey, little mama does not hit as much when I'm not doing the Ash Ketchum voice. It is silly in any case to be jealous of a girl who might very well be dead. That is what you tell yourself. It is the only way to prop up your bruised sense of self-worth. I get the feeling that whatever went wrong... We know we found a book in a library, and that was kind of the turning point. I think the narrator, like, showed up somehow because of the book. And I think either, like, right after getting the book, things spiraled really, really quickly, or whenever we got, like, what we wanted from the narrator, because I'd imagine it's a deal of some sort. Things were going really, really well, and now that, like, it's time to, like... I think it was, like... I feel there was something about not being alone. I feel like things went downhill so fast, which is why we're having such a hard time, like, shifting our ego. You would, you tell the mermaid after a pause, like to see her again. You would like that very much. Oh, thank you. I've been feeling very gloomy for quite some time, but seeing you has invigorated me. Finally, it feels as though I can smile again. Did she not smile, you wonder, after her friend disappeared? I did not, no. I did not have the heart. Without her, the world seemed very dull and drab. Your company has cheered me immensely. This is why I like humans so much. You are not callous and unfeeling like the merfolk who live beneath the water's surface. You are much kinder than they are. Oh, if only she knew. The mermaid was aware, I wonder, of how petty you are, and how jealous. Would she still care for you? Well, that is neither here nor there. You agree to meet with the mermaid come sundown the following night. Then you make your slow, stumbling way back up the cliffs, then to the cottage you have purloined as your own. Once indoors, you settle down upon your pallet, and then you close your eyes. The sighing of the wind outside and the distant roiling of the waves against the rocks do not disturb you. It is crazy. I feel like the toxicity is coming from our side this time. We're the toxic one. But that's just for now. You feel, after your midnight encounter of a mirrorish kind, quite at ease. Perhaps prematurely so. I mean, she's in the water, so we're in the land, as long as we don't go in the water. What happened to the icy fear which prompted your frantic flight through the forest? Where has all that gone? Do you not think you are being a bit complacent? No? Oh well. You will. Oh, okay. Ominous. That's the interesting thing. Like, we're not even getting our character's perspective from our own character's perspective. Part of me is, like, whenever it's kind of like, oh, like, oh, you're lower than a farmhand, this or that. I almost feel like it could be coming from the main character, but it could also be coming from the narrator as kind of a way to belittle the main character, because I feel like the narrator does do that every now and then. The following morning, when it arrives, is cloudy and overcast. It is not a particularly pleasant morning, but at least it is not raining. That is some small consolation. You rise from your straw pallet stretching, then glance about the interior of the fisherman's cottage. It looked dilapidated last night, when much of it was obscured by the shadows, but it looks even more so when subjected to the morning's light. Yeah! Yeah, the narrator has two wolves. One wolf causes the plague, and the other bruises your ego. There's a secret third wolf, and that's the wolf that's so obsessed with us. The cottage's interior has the distinct, disquieting appearance of having been abandoned in a hurry. There's broken pottery strewn upon the ground, and the singular wooden chair, which once have must stood by the singular wooden table, is lying on the floor. That's interesting that it was, like, abandoned quickly. The doors of the cupboards, meanwhile, are ajar, the shelves within depressingly bare. A quick search reveals a handful of edibles, but there's precious little to be getting on with. Okay, yeah. Get lit. I want to go out on a limb and say the narrator's an alpha. This isn't my specialty though. So I could be totally wrong. If you wish to live here comfortably, you will have to look into foraging. You ate very little last night and your stomach is empty. It was the malcontented rumblings of your stomach, in actual fact, which roused you from your slumber. Oh my gosh. This is good. This is good. This game had enough Doomed Yuri. We really needed to add in the Omegaverse. But your body seems to be very far away indeed, much like the gray clouds which choke the sky. You're not thinking of your own physical discomforts. You are dwelling instead upon the events of the night prior. You cannot help but think of the mermaid. Did you truly meet an aquatic maiden last night during your nightly stroll when you could not sleep? It sounds unreal, especially now that the sun has risen and the shadows from the night prior have dispersed. You cannot quite believe it. Must have been a dream. But why then can you recall it so very clearly? I do wonder if she's gonna catch fish for us so we can eat. But I don't know if we'll be able to start a fire on the beach. You help yourself to the scant food and drink available to you, all the while thinking of your next course of action. Which game? I feel like oh my gosh, there's a crazy game on Steam. What is it called? I do have a game that may or may not fit the bill, so I would like to know. I would like to know just in case it's the same one. Because there was one game sometimes I'll save games and I'll look at them and I'll be like, this game is interesting, or this game is a joke. And actually no, it's something that totally went over my head. And so I think I saved a joke game, but I'm really scared to play it because I'm worried it's not. I'm worried it's gonna get scary. Do you think if I said the name of it, would it ring a bell? There was actually one, there's gotta be good Omegaverse writing. There's gotta be. I don't think I've okay, and I'm pretty sure it's a joke game. I thought it was a joke game, but it's called A Lip Trip, My Boss is My Heat Suppressant. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way my boss is my heat suppressant. It is a real actual game. But the fear that it could get scary, that feels a little bit scary. So you have to let me know. Because I will walk into these things being like, okay, yeah. And then I'll walk out and I'll be like, oh no. Oh no, I've made a mistake. So any amount of warning would be great if it's the same one. There was another one. Oh my gosh. And you know, I really should have seen this one coming. I think this one might be on me. If it happens with my boss is my heat suppressant, that's also on me. But none of the tags say anything. I don't think they do, actually. Yeah, none of them say anything. But there's another visual novel that I was like, okay. And the premise is like, it's like, oh, she's like a giant, and then like, and I was looking at the reviews for it, and the reviews were like, yeah, it's vor, and I was like, what? And so I didn't end up getting that one. But sometimes these things happen to me because I am foolish and I don't understand things and I don't get information. Now, what are you to do? You plan, of course, to return to the shore come nightfall, so that you might once again see the mermaid, but the night will not arrive for quite some time. You need to find some means of keeping yourself occupied until then. That is what I mean by scary. Such a shame. I really was like, there's no way. There's no way somebody was like, I guess I should have known. What? Well, good thing I know. I meant scary in the like things might get a little freaky, not in a like get evil to my computer kind of way. Wow. I'm glad we've had this talk. I'm glad we've had this talk. Now I know. The game is scary in more ways than one. There's no way. There's no way. I really was like, oh. I like playing bad visual novels as much as I like playing good visual novels. I thought I don't know what I expected. Well, okay. Perfect. Good to know. The uninspiring interior of the cottage. There's one game. It's on my wish list. I've been wanting to play it for so long because it's like $3 and it looks so bad. It's called like Billionaire Lovers or whatever. And then I look at the tags and the tags are like psychological horror and every single review was like, I can't believe that. That's I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, what happened? What happens? I need to play that one. I want to play that one so bad. Because I was originally like, that one just looks so bad. It looks so bad that it might be good. But it might just be good, apparently. The uninspiring interior of the cottage does not furnish you with any particular ideas, so you decide to go for a walk. Your soul still ache after your exertions last night, but if you go slowly, you ought to be alright. That is what you hope, at least. We're gonna fall off a cliff. You do not want to spend much longer than you have to in the fisherman's cottage, no matter how cold it might be outdoors. It is almost as cold inside as it is out, and in any case, the cottage is far too small. You leave the cottage behind you and set off. You do not know where exactly you are going, but you suppose it does not matter overly much. There's no way there's only one Yuri Omegaverse game. There's... what? Well... Rip to the Yuri Omegaverse. If I was ever gonna do a Yuri Omegaverse stream, I guess rip to that. It's not happening. Actually, be the change you want to see in the world. I don't know what that means. I guess not. So, somebody's gotta make one. You know, it's been a hot minute since we've done a visual novel planning stream. Hi Spectre, welcome in, welcome in. The Yuri Omegaverse is scary, apparently. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope any Yuri Omegaverse you find doesn't give your computer a virus. Because apparently, Lip Trip, my boss, is my heat suppressant. Will give you a virus. Terrible. It's okay. Maybe when they say doomed Yuri so doomed you get a virus. Like that's the doomed Yuri. The Omegaverse is just there. The Omegaverse Yuri is just in there, but the doomed Yuri is your computer. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe like in the grand scheme of thing, it's like, oh, the game is doomed because the computer is doomed, so you can't play the game. And that's what dooms the Yuri. Yeah. We're so smart. We're so smart. There's got to be more like it out there. There's got to be more like it out there. That's crazy. I'm I'm kind of reeling. This has kind of thrown me off really badly. I don't know where to go from here. You do not know where exactly you are going, but you suppose it does not matter overly much. I guess we go back to the beach. You do not have any particular destination in mind. Your meanderings lead you to the cliffs, which are steep and sharp. That's crazy. I guess... That's just great. You're right. Mermaid time. Mermaid time. The drop to the shore is a perilous one, so much so that you might have to wonder how you were able to descend the cliffs the night prior to meet the mermaid. I would like to see. I am curious. I'm curious. Omegaverse Yuri Jam? And it starts in a day in 3 hours and 10 minutes and 51 seconds? And now... It's a game jam. It's a jam is it's a game jam. May 1st to July 1st. Oh, I'm so busy in May. It's fate. It's fate. This is fate. Guys. Heard. I'm terrible at writing, really mid at coding, really, we can say bad, closer to mid bad at coding, can't do art, can't make music. Let's make Omegaverse Yuri. The people are looking for Omegaverse Yuri. Oh my gosh, this is destiny. Everything is coming together. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. You are rather more determined than you ever realized. More determined to make more Yuri Omegaverse. Though I, of course, could have told you that much. You are surprisingly capricious for such a small, slender human. Okay, narrator's not human, I don't think. You walk along the sides of the cliffs, keeping a sensible distance away from the drop to the shore. You might have survived last night's excitement unscathed, but you do not fancy trying your luck. Perfect. Hey, okay, between your British voice that you can do and my Ash Ketchum voice, we'll have something. It'll be doomed and it probably won't be Yuri, but there'll... The worst game. Worst game. Terrible, awful combination. Well, it's the only... I'm supposed to be British right now and I just can't do it. I can't do anything. I think you can art goodly, so... I mean... I believe in us. I believe in us. What's our team name? You guys can cook on a team name. I can't do team names. That's the other thing. I can't name things either. We're gonna make the best game. We're gonna make the best game ever. Yeah, full team of people who cannot do anything. Too many cooks in the kitchen. And you can manage. Perfect. I feel like there's a lot of games in the genre of like, my blank is blank. So my... my my car mechanic is... I don't know more Omega verse terms. Whatever. we'll pick one. We'll pick one. We'll figure it out. I don't want to make a car mechanic game. I don't know enough about cars. Unless the cars are like a metaphor? Yeah, we don't even need a mechanic in the game. We just need the game. It would be so like you, really, to avoid a drop to your death in the darkness, only to stumble during the morning's light and take an irreversible tumble. Your fortunes have never been the fairest. Ooh! Your meanderings along the cliff reveal to you all manner of curious flora. You thought the night prior that the cliffs were weather-blasted, but you can see now that your assumptions were incorrect. There are flowers here, very warm and bright, like the sun's light during the summertime. Or you think, with a flush of pleasure, the fair hair of the mermaid, whom you are certain you spoke to last night. These flowers are so very like her hair, it is uncanny. I think we're down bad. You step towards the flowers, drawn towards them and sink down to your knees. The tall grass brushes your ankles like a caress? The morning's dew wetting your skirt. Your clothes are getting damp, as are your legs, but you care not for this minor discomfort. It remains to be known. We could just be having a moment. Are we gonna bring her flowers? Are we gonna bring her flowers? Oh my gosh. You've just had an idea. Why not make a gift for your new friend? You're sure that she would appreciate it. Why would she not? Well, because she lives underwater? She told you in a voice which was steeped with dolor that she had been feeling lonely. You want to see her again, and when you next see her, you would like to make her smile. It is with this thought in mind that you begin to pick the flowers which are growing upon the cliffside. These flowers do not have any thorns. Okay, but if we say, oh, we farmed these, we're a farmer, then, oh, you're cooking. You're cooking. These flowers do not have any thorns, and their delicate stems snap easily enough between your fingers. I wonder if the flowers are symbolic. We're snapping the fingers just like we're gonna get our neck snapped. You take care when plucking these flowers to leave a substantial amount of stem intact. You will need these stems so that you might twine the flowers together. You mean to make for your mermaid a diadem, something she will be able to wear in her hair. This tiara is certain to suit her. She is so pretty, anything would suit her. Okay, I thought the narrator was supposed to be obsessed with us. This is so gay. Let's go, lesbians. Happy Pride. You continue to work slow and steadfast as the weak sun shines. It takes time, but you are eventually able to fashion something you are satisfied with. You only hope the mermaid will feel similarly. If, indeed, she really does exist. Let's go, lesbians! I don't think that's all. I don't think we have Let's Go Lesbians as a name. But if we do, we can have Let's Go Lesbians too. Let's go more lesbians. Let's see. Oh, we added Yuri Lemonade last week. So we have that. Carefully, you pocket your makeshift diadem, then decide to forage for some food. You discover during your search some fruit trees whose sweet burdens are enough to fortify your spirits. For the present, at least. It is fortunate, really, that you are so excited about your moonlight rendezvous with the mermaid. If you were less focused upon the future and dwelt more in the immediate present, you might have more of an appetite. The emptiness in your stomach assuaged. Assuaged? You return to the cottage, whereat you mean to wait for the setting of the sun. It is very fun. There is very little to do, you soon discover, in the cottage, other than checking the cupboards and sweeping the floor, occupations which both feel depressingly pointless. I think it's fun that the picture of the cottage is very clearly, like, the outside of it is very clearly not on an ocean cliffside. But it's okay. We can appreciate that they are using, like, filters on pictures and not AI. There are no books to read either, with which you might pass your idle hours. You do, however, busy yourself with trying to light a fire so that you might ward off the cold. The time is horribly slow in passing, in part because you have precious little to do, but also because you cannot stop thinking of the mermaid. Will she really return to the shore as she said she would? Can you truly trust her? Oh my gosh. There are websites that will that specifically give backgrounds for, like, different purposes, typically for visual novels, but, like, I think you can use them as long as you credit them too. So there's that. Dova Syndrome for music. Love those guys. Oh, you hope that you can. If she were not present at your designated meeting place, you think you would die from disappointment. The seconds continue to trickle by, unchecked by any hourglass, and as they do, the sun sinks beneath the horizon. Part of you worries, however, that it might still be too early to search for the mermaid. Will she be there yet? You sit there, your stomach tied up in anxious knots, and as you listen to the wind which buffets your window, you hear it. What is your title? What is the title drop? I'm excited. I'm sure there are VTubers who, if we rolled up and we were like, hey, can you just pose for some Yuri? For some Omegaverse Yuri? They would eat that up. That's good. That's good. I think you're cooking. Robot Yuri? Sometimes... Do you guys ever get freaky transformers on your timeline? Well, we might be looking for people to be Yuri soon, so... Like, people get freaky about the Transformers. There was one time I got, like, Transformers fan art on my timeline, and I was like, who was putting this here? And it was freaky, and I was like, why are Transformers freaky? It's usually, any kind of freaky robot stuff. It's always like, oh, I'm messing with the wires, and the robot gets, like, freaky, and I'm like, who is into robots on my timeline? I mean, practically the same thing. Practically the same thing. Well, maybe the Ultra Kill players are also bleeding into the Transformers fans a little bit. Oh, she's singing again. The sound is faint, but you recall it well from the night before. There's a single solitary voice outdoors, tempest-tossed amidst the rolling waves. The voice is a high, clear one, silvery, if indeed voices can have colors, like a finely polished dinner plate in a noble woman's home. The voice belongs, of course, to the mermaid. Who else do you know with a voice as angelic as that? Relief begins to bubble up inside you, a relief so potent you feel dizzy from it. She did not abandon you after all. Why, you wonder, did you ever think she would? She said that she wanted to see you. Did you think that a mere nicety? Buoyed? As if by a gentle breeze you hurried to the door. With trembling fingers, they are trembling, I presume, from excitement rather than fear, or maybe the cold. You seize the handle, then turn it. Then you step out into the dark, inky night. You walk towards the cliffs as you did the night prior, beneath the cover of the inky blue sky, the wind moaning fitfully with every step you take. Your soul still ache from your expedition the day prior, but you are able to ignore this discomfort. It seems irrelevant, really, when compared to the prospect of once again meeting the mermaid. You have known her for only one night, yet she has come to mean more to you than your own well-being. You would do anything for the mermaid if she asked it. Well, almost anything. No, I think anything. You hurry down the sharp incline of the cliffs to the shore, almost stumbling in your scuffed brown shoes, which really were not built with rock climbing in mind. So frantic are you in your attempts to once again make the mermaid's acquaintance, you very nearly fall. It is a good thing that you still have enough sense about you to regain your footing. I think it's forgivable because we were talking about Yuri. It's fine if we're talking about more Yuri. It balances out. One thing I do think is, like, I don't know what our main character... Well, I think what happened, our main character made a wish on that book or whatever to never be alone again. And that's kind of like loneliness is kind of the theme going on. And I think that's why we have the narrator. So I think it's interesting because I was assuming the mermaid was probably going to be a siren, and it kind of seems like she is a siren, but it feels like a siren is like, oh, what's your, like, greatest desire? I guess because we're so immediately looking for the person, I guess we are? Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about something, and I couldn't quite articulate what. Otherwise, this tale would come to a premature ending. Eventually, you make your way onto the shore, then approach the jagged outcrop of rock whereat you last saw the mermaid. There she is! Oh, I love her! Like the night prior, the mermaid is perched upon these rocks, her fair hair strewn about her shoulders. When she sees you from across the shore, she ceases her singing, and her eyes light up. Or at least, they seem to. So you have returned to me, my hero, the mermaid says, and then lightly she giggles. I forgot what she sounded like. Or perhaps I should say heroine? Her praise makes you blush. You do not feel worthy of it. Nobody has ever called you a heroine before. I was more focused on how she said my hero. Yeah. And yeah. You do not even think of yourself as a heroine. If a story were made about you, you rather think that you would be a supporting character. One without her own voice. Interesting! Interesting because we can't say anything. You are not interesting enough. Interesting! The mermaid seems to think that you are, though. She's staring at you delightedly as though you are the one person in the world she most wishes to speak to. The thought makes you tremble, but not as much as the mermaid's gaze. You tell the mermaid that you do not think you are so very brave, but she dismisses your awkward remark with a laugh. I think you are. I saw the way you scaled those cliffs. I thought that was very heroic. Oh, so she saw that, did she? Then did you see how you slipped down the cliffs, grazing your palms in the process, and how you very nearly fell? You have never been the most graceful of girls, but to have your failings exposed before being as poised and as perfect as the mermaid. It stings a little bit. More, in fact, than the resultant grazes on your palms your clumsiness wrought you. You tell the mermaid there was nothing so very heroic about all of that. You were simply excited, that is all, to see her again. You weren't thinking. Well, that makes two of us. I was excited to see you again. She was? Naturally. I had a very good time speaking to you last night. I had hoped that we might resume our correspondence. That is why I came to the rocks a bit earlier than usual. I was waiting for you. Did you hear my song? Yes, you reply with a nod of your head. You heard it all the way in the abandoned cottage. I called out to you. That was the general idea. I was singing it for you. She was? You do not think that you are worthy of the mermaid's song, but if she does not mind dedicating her voice to you, then... Well, who else would I dedicate my voice to? There's nobody else to hear me. That is a good point, you suppose. Shyly, you look back at the mermaid. You thank her for her song. It was very beautiful. I was gonna be wooed, but she didn't know we were here the first night and we could still hear her in the cottage, so I didn't know if I believed it. Yeah. Last girlfriend available. Then tell her, before you can lose your nerve, that you have prepared a present for her too. Not a participation trophy, girlfriend! Oh no! Oh, have you really? You have. It is a small thing, nothing more than a silly trinket, but if it would not be too much of an imposition, then do we get to see her wear it? With clumsy fingers, you reach into your pocket. For a few moments, you fret that your near fall down the cliff might have damaged the delicate chain nestled within it, but your worries are in vain. The chain is surprisingly sturdy, given it was made with only a few flowers, and it has held firm against the odds. You handle the chain with great care all the same, however, as you hold it out, presenting it for the mermaid's approbation. It was for the mermaid that you fashioned this chain. You thought that it would look nice nestled in her hair. You were pleased with the chain when you first made it, but after looking at the mermaid, you have begun to reconsider. The mermaid's beauty is otherworldly, so much so it almost hurts to look at her. Your flower crown, by comparison, seems a very meager offering indeed. The longer you hold your gift out, the more unworthy it feels. You have half a mind, as the seconds elapse, to snatch your silly, wholly unworthy gift back from the mermaid before she can judge you too harshly. But the mermaid's lips curve upwards into a smile, and in a voice so full of gratitude it makes your heart throb, she says, "Oh my, did you make this for me?" "Well, yes," you reply, still feeling a little flustered. "You saw these flowers earlier when you went for a walk, and they made you think of her." Not, you hasten to add, that you think her beauty is comparable to these flowers. They are far inferior when contrasted with her good looks. You simply thought. You were unable to get the rest of the sentence out, however, because the mermaid interrupts you, not rudely, but with something resembling compassion. Perhaps she pities you. She must be able to hear how your voice is trembling. Can she also see the way your hands tremor? Oh dear. Faint heart never won the hand of the fair maiden, you know. What happened to all of your confidence? The narrator is such a heckler. I think it's so funny. I should have made tea. I think that your gift is a wonderful one. I did not at all expect it, but it really is pretty. Are you gonna wear it? She hates us. She hates us. You look at your feet, too shy to meet the mermaid's gaze. I feel like maybe... No, we were definitely girl fail before. But now that we have this like weird powerful creature obsessed with us, it is making sure we stay that way. No character development for us. We are failure all the time. Then you say very quietly that you are glad that she thinks so, but she does not need to spare your ego. You have precious little left of it, left as it is. The mermaid seems touched by your shyness. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious, because she smiles. I am not simply saying things to spare your ego. I am not like that. Humans might spout platitudes as easily as they breathe air, but I do not compliment others unless I truly mean it. Is that not the point of speech? Have an honest dialogue with one another? If one party in a conversation is withholding their true intentions, then conversation is impossible. Playing games is a waste of my time, particularly given my time above the surface is so very limited. Oh. You blush at this, more deeply still, and survey the mermaid beneath the full fringe of your eyelashes. And she really does like it? Is she wearing it? No. Did I not just say that? You humans are so very funny with all your second guessing. She was like that too in the beginning. This is really giving, in that one section of Mystic Messenger where you're on Yusung's route and Yusung keeps being like, you remind me of Rika, and you have to be like, no, I'm not your dead cousin. Nope, not your dead cousin. I'm almost getting those vibes here. I'm not your dead fisher, your dead farmer girlfriend. I'm very sorry. I'm right. I mean, I'm right. It goes badly if you play into it, and I think that might be what we are doing a little bit. She? My friend. The mermaid's answer is a simple one, but it makes your stomach clench regardless. Ah, yes, her friend. How could you have forgotten about her? She used to make me gifts too, you know, gifts like this one. She would pick flowers on the cliffs over there where I cannot tread. The mermaid gestures with one hand to the cliffs which tower above the shore, tall and imposing as though to stab the sky above. And she would fashion them into crowns like this one, and bracelets. I was appreciative of her tokens, though she was similarly shy when she first presented them to me. She did not seem to think very much of her handiwork. You and her are remarkably similar, really. There's no guile in the mermaid's voice, but her words have rather taken the wind out of your sails. Yeah, oh my gosh, terrible. Terrible and awful. Yeah, the comparisons. We just made a headband and she's making bracelets? And headbands? Made from the same flowers and everything. And our mannerisms are so similar. Oh, not good. Not good. I mean, if she wants me to be her dead girlfriend. See, I was thinking that, and then I looked up at the picture again and stopped reading the words. Thank you for the hydrate tits. I was thinking about it, and then I looked up at the picture and I was like, actually no, she can drown me. Just a little reminder of why we're here. She could drown me. I would let her. I wonder, will she drown us or will we jump off the cliff to like get to her faster? And you know what? That's fine. If I don't need to exist, that's fine. Anything for her. Anything for her. Of course the cowherd. Oh my gosh. The cowherd gave the mermaid gifts. We're just being mean. Why would she not? The mermaid is beautiful. She is so very beautiful. Like a tutelary goddess, she seems to invite tribute simply by existing. Were you more religious, or more irreligious maybe, you might even consider worshipping her. Though, in essence, is that not what you were doing with your flower crown? How silly of you to think that your idea was an original one. Yeah. Pottery? Pottery's an option. Basket weaving? You can make a basket. We need to forage for food before we starve to death, but I guess that can wait. We could cook. A Glock to make the drowning go faster. I might be accustomed to gifts, but it has been a long time since any human has bequeathed me with anything. This is a pleasant surprise. I truly am thankful for your kindness, dear one. She called us dear one. Oh. The mermaid leans forward on her rock so as to pluck the circlet from your fingers. Her benevolent smile all the while is unwavering. And now that I look at your gift more closely, I rather think it is of a superior quality to the gifts my old friend once gave me. We're the better girlfriend. we're the better girlfriend. Unless she also said this to her other girlfriend. Maybe she's had multiple exes. Who knows? Now this is enough to make you start if the touch of the mermaid's fingers upon your own was not. Could your silly gift really be better than those she once accepted? I think so. My friend's trinkets were all rather clumsy in execution, though I cherish them nonetheless. They were very precious to me. They did not last for very long, though, not when I took them with me to my home beneath the ocean. The water soon rent the fragile links between the flower stems asunder. Your diadem, however, seems more sturdy, but it is, by the same token, very delicate. Yeah, I guarantee. How many times has she done this? No, I wouldn't care. If she had other girlfriends, I would not care. I've been on the other side before. Me and my multiple alien boyfriends. Whatever. I can get out of the kitchen if you can't handle the heat. I can handle the heat. There's gotta be some way to make a waterproof Glock to give her. You must be very good with your hands. You think back briefly on your disastrous sewing lessons in the past, of your numerous failed attempts to thread your needle while the other girls giggled at you, and you blush. You think the mermaid's praise might be a touch too effusive. You tell the mermaid as much, but she only laughs. I do not think so. Now, the mermaid places your... Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! And we're the better girlfriend, and she's so pretty, and she likes us, and she accepted our gift! Oh my goodness! Oh, this is so exciting. This is so exciting! Hashtag blessed! Hashtag when will you drown me? Drown me in the ocean! Hi Psyche, welcome in, welcome, look at our girlfriend! Oh my gosh, she keeps comparing us to her ex, but her ex is dead and we're not. So things are going really, really well for us. It's a very good rat. The mermaid places your floral trinket upon her head over her long fair hair, then surveys you in a manner which seems almost coquettish. What do you think? You think that the mermaid looks radiant, though that is less because of your gift and more because of her natural looks. You tell the mermaid this, though not in terms quite this glowing, and she giggles. You are selling yourself too short. I think your gift is lovely, really. The flowers rather match my hair. Yes, you answer with a nod of your head. That is why you picked those flowers. She is all you have been able to think of. I think she's got to be some kind of siren. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Little recap. I mentioned my boss is my heat suppressant to you. Turns out that game is spicy. I thought it was a joke game, so I didn't think it was gonna get spicy, but apparently it gets spicy. And also it has a Trojan. So there's no Omegaverse Yuri games out there. That was the only one. But starting on May 1st to July 1st is the Omegaverse Yuri Jam. I mean, if there's only one, then we must all be talking about the same thing. So, our opportunity to make Omegaverse Yuri is upon us. We can be the change we want to see in the world. I am glad that you have been thinking of me. I, in truth, have been thinking of you, though I did not wish to say as much. Perfect! I can code it. It's not going to be coded well, but I can do that. I can make it at least functional. Last time I had to write for a project, the project has been delayed for so long. Ren'Py is pretty easy to use. If we keep it in Ren'Py, we're set. No? We got this. Visual novels are easy to code. Making them really fancy with all the bits and bobs may be a little bit harder. Ren'Py is easy. No, it would be embarrassing to confess how much I have been looking forward to our reunion if you did not feel similarly. I do not care to pine for humans from afar. But if you care for me as I do you, then it makes me feel less alone. You hasten to assure the mermaid, your face aflame. Do you ever stop blushing? Goodness gracious! That you do care for her, very much so. Almost every single visual novel on Itch.io is made in Ren'Py, though I want to say Touch Starved is made in Unity, and I think that's crazy. I guess Ren'Py. The thing about Ren'Py is, like, because it's like the visual novel thing, I guess it does kind of feel a little bit like intro baby level. Trying to think. I think the biggest game that I'm aware of being made in Ren'Py is Doki Doki Literature Club was made in Ren'Py, except they had to take the engine and change one thing about it very specifically because of the part where it drags your cursor like towards the choice, like when your options are like, oh, like Monica or something else. Ren'Py didn't have a way to make it so your mouse automatically gravitates towards Monica. So they had to like make their own thing to do that. But that's practically still just in Ren'Py. You have not known her for very long, but she has certainly made an impression upon you. She is such an easy conversationalist, and the time simply slips by when you're together. And it does not hurt, of course, that she is so pretty. I have heard it said, yes, that my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary. Our compliments are better though, right? I cannot blame you humans for being so taken with me. My form is so very graceful. Your legs seem rather cumbersome in comparison to my smooth, sleek tail. It must be so very depressing to lumber about on land as you do, living your days beneath the harsh sun and the cool, unfeeling moon. Sometimes I rather think I pity you. But the surface is a good deal brighter than it is beneath the ocean. I will grant you that much. You agree with the mermaid, still feeling flushed, that there are some perks to having legs, an agreement which makes the mermaid giggle. She's allowed to have an ego. That's allowed. I am certain that there are, though you cannot explore the ocean's depths as I can. I presume you've never tried it? Shake your head, no. You never thought to do so, largely because you have never been so close to the sea before, not in all your life. You did not have much opportunity for nautical exploration in the past. You were not allowed to go anywhere then, save to the local church. It was quite a lonely existence. Oh no. That is a pity. You were kind enough to give me a gift fashioned from flowers which grow where I cannot reach them, so perhaps I ought to return the favor. The favor? Yes, that is right. It would seem only fitting that I give to you something which can only be found in the ocean's depths. Perhaps we could look at it as a form of cultural exchange. Oh, no, you protest, your eyes wide. You couldn't possibly put such a burden upon her. You did not give her a gift, after all, because you wanted to receive anything in return. Anything other than her friendship, that is. The conversation is more than enough to satisfy you. You do not need any physical presence on top of that. The mermaid does not seem convinced, however, by your naysaying. She raises one eyebrow, even this gesture is performed elegantly, then says, If my company is all it takes to satisfy you, then you are easy to please indeed. But please, do not rebuff me. I am offering because I wish to do this. Remember what I said. I do not say things for the sake of it. Well, you murmur, if she really doesn't mind. Of course I do not mind. Now, wait here. I will not be very long. It would be rude to abandon my new friend in the midst of a conversation. I'm wondering... That's how we go. We get stung by something. The mermaid turns her attention towards the clear mirror-like water which shimmers beneath the moonlight. Do y'all remember the sea urchin from Surf's Up? He gets stepped on, and then he's like, he stepped on my spikes. Gone, broken. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. Then she dives. Body arches elegantly through the air, her long, slender limbs cleaving through the surface of the water with nary a ripple. The mermaid's face is first submerged, then her torso, and at long last her tail. The water rushes forth to envelop her, as though it has been waiting for her. It subsumes her. It swallows her. Then she disappears from view. The mermaid is gone, but you are still there. Well, now what are you to do? There's nothing that can be done, you suppose, save waiting. You stand there for several moments, watching the black water lap against the shore. I am curious, because at a certain point, like, time seemed to be moving relatively quickly in the graveyard route. But this seems to be like a day-by-day one, so I wonder if we're going to get a time skip. I don't think we will. I think this one we're going to die pretty early on. The breeze howls mournfully like a wounded animal as it buffets your hair about your face and your torn skirt around your legs. Time elapses, but how much of it? While you stand there fretfully, feeling as ostentatious as a maypole. When will the mermaid return? Will she ever return? Okay, we have attachment issues, separation anxiety. You are starting to worry. Is that all you do? When... Look, over there, by the rocks upon which the mermaid once sat. The water is rippling. It looks as though your new friend has returned. Oh, there she is! The mermaid pulls herself onto the rocks, using a surprising amount of upper body strength, then smiles at you. I apologize for the wait. I hope I did not make you worry. You were worrying, but you are not half so honest as the mermaid. Mermaids might be spoken of as devious tricksters who lure sailors to their deaths, but they are, in actuality, very sincere. They will sincerely lure sailors and travelers and girls who are lost in the woods to their death. They are much more sincere than most humans. Perhaps that is why your kind fears them so. There are few creatures who inhabit this world whose capacity for lying is greater than your own. You tell the mermaid that you are not worrying, and she answers with a wry smile. I'm not so sure about that. The mermaid is wilier than you are giving her credit for. She's seen straight through you. But no matter. It took me some time, but I was finally able to retrieve for you a gift. I do not have the means to turn this into a pretty piece of jewelry, as you did with the flowers, but I wish to give it to you nonetheless. I do hope that you like it. The mermaid leans forward, then holds her gift out towards you. Her slender fingers unfurl about it like the petals of a flower being folded back and... Oh, what a pretty gift it is! The ocean might be dark and deep, cold and unfeeling, but the same cannot be said for the object which glitters upon the mermaid's palm. She has fished from the depths of the water a beautiful shell, one which shimmers prismatic colors beneath the moon's light, much like the scales on her tail. The shell is so very pretty, it quite takes your breath away. You look at the shell worriedly, your teeth biting your lower lip. That is a bad habit, you know. You'll make yourself bleed. Then ask the mermaid if this is really alright. I really am intrigued by the narrator. Would a gift like this not be wasted on you? Of course not. I want you to have the shell because it makes me think of you. It does? How so? Yeah, I think the only, like because we're up on the cliffside and we said we're a traveler, if it's one of the ones where if you put it up to your ear, and you can hear the ocean. Maybe it'd be like, oh, when you go on your travels, you can listen to the ocean kind of thing. I thought it should be obvious. The shell is a lovely find. As are you. Oh. Did she just call you lovely? Surely you must have misheard her. You can scarcely believe it. It is an awful lot for you to take in, but... Now, why are you gawping at me like that? The wind will change, you know, and then your face will be stuck like that, which would be quite the shame. You would waste your good looks, which, for a maiden such as yourself, would be nothing short of a tragedy. Okay, thank you. Hi, Karama. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for lurking. We're being wooed by a mermaid, and I think she... I don't see why she's going to drown us, but I feel like she will. It seems as though the mermaid really does think you are pretty after all. The mermaid with her smooth skin and her fair, fair hair. You can scarcely believe it. There's something almost laughable about the mermaid's compliments. How could she call you pretty when her looks are so immediately, obviously superior? Tongue-tied, you look at your feet. I'm thinking that's another possibility. If she sings her siren song and we're like, we've got to go to her, and we just walk off the cliff. You do not know how to reply to the mermaid. You have half a mind to refute her words, to tell her that you are not that pretty. Not really. But you fear that might look rude. You do not want to rebuff the mermaid's well wishes. There's nothing for it then but to take that shell which the mermaid retrieved from the ocean steps for you. You do not think that you are worthy of it, but neither do you want to refuse it. Now that is a surprise, the mermaid says, amused, as you reach for the shell. I did not think that you would be bold enough to take it. Not without more coaxing on my part. You have exceeded my expectations. What a good girl you are. Your heart flutters with this praise, and it flutters all the more when your trembling fingers brush against the mermaid's palm. She presses the shell into your skin, and your own fingers tighten about it. The shell is sharp and pointed, and it digs uncomfortably into your skin. She's stabbing us. It hurts, but there's pleasure in the pain. This too feels like a gift from the mermaid. You do not want to spurn it. Even pain can be a precious thing when dealt by one whom you care for. Okay. Okay. You never knew that before. You hold the shell to your heart, which is beating in a regular rhythm, and look at the mermaid. Then very softly you thank her. It is quite all right. It seems only fair, after you shared part of your world with me. I wish to share part of my world with you, too. Humans cannot normally descend beneath the ocean's depths, and even if they do, they cannot remain there for very long. You are far too fragile. But that I would bring you with me to my underwater kingdom where we might be together. The mermaid's melodic voice trails away, suffused with something resembling melancholia. She sighs. Then she shakes her head and smiles. But this will have to do for the present. Please, take good care of that shell. Look at it from time to time and think of me. That would make me very happy indeed. Something strange is happening. Something strange is happening. The days pass following this nightly encounter with your aquatic acquaintance with an almost intolerable slowness. You endure the hours of sunlight as best you can by going for long, bracing walks amidst the heather, foraging for berries and fruits among the hedgerows. Even when you have mustered up enough courage, take an old fishing line uncovered in the fisherman's cottage and try your luck by the shore. Your initial attempts at angling are without success, but as the time passes, your proficiency in the art grows. Is she going to be mad? Some time after you take up your rod, you find you are able to catch the odd fish here and there. Small, scrawny things mostly, but the meat goes a ways to bolstering your rudimentary diet. You teach yourself how to remove the scales of these saltwater fish that you have captured and how to gut them. You learn too how to cook them over a simple fire. Sometimes you skewer these fish of yours on spikes and roast them slowly, innards and all. You are able to sustain yourself well enough during the day, though the faint pangs of hunger you experience never quite go away. Physical discomfort, however, is secondary when compared to your desire to visit the mermaid. Your days might be dull and drab, but your nights, comparatively, are made of magic. There's something. There's something. It is only during the night that the mermaid emerges from beneath the waves, and when she does, you hurry to her side. You have never before had anybody who took so great an interest in you, not until you met the mermaid. That is why she has grown... I thought this... I misread it, and I was like, she's mean to us now? No. That is why she has grown to mean so very much to you. She is the first friend you have ever had. But if you do not temper your obsession accordingly, I fear she may very well be your last. You care little for the potential danger, however, which lurks beneath your interactions with the mermaid. You want only to show the mermaid how much you value her. And you hope within time that she will come to value you too. If you keep seeing her, surely she will stop thinking of her human friend whom she lost so suddenly. That is your plan, at least. Fortunately, your self-serving wish to grow closer to the mermaid seems close to being granted. Your nightly conversations when you greet her come easily enough, the words tumbling from your mouth like thread. You have grown rather comfortable in the mermaid's company, and she, yours. She must have, for it is not long after you bequeath your diadem of flowers to the mermaid that she looks at you, then posits a curious question. I was wondering, dear one, whether you would mind indulging me. I know this might not seem like an appealing proposition, but I thought it would be remiss of me not to ask. I have seen some of your world, for I have sat on the shore for many, many nights hence. But you have seen nothing of mine. Here we go! It seems unfair that I should know some of the world that you inhabit, while you know so little of my own. So, would you care to come with me beneath the ocean's waves? There's much that I wish to show you, sights that cannot, I fear, be accurately represented in language alone. Words can be awfully stifling when it comes to communication of experiences such as this. It is quite the florid speech, but at the heart of it beats a simple enough request. The mermaid wishes to bring you beneath the ocean's surface so that she might show you her home. You are flattered initially that the mermaid wishes to show you something so personal. But after this flutter of flattery, there's an uncomfortable sense of unease. The mermaid might feel at home beneath the water's surface, but what of you? You are a human girl with two awkward, ungainly legs, and you are not made to live under the sea. You frown and, mistrustfully, you look at the ocean. It is late at night, as it always is when you speak to the mermaid, and the water does not look blue. It appears instead to be obsidian. The waves moan as they break against the rocks, which jut out of the shore like a mighty dragon's bones. They sound angry, violent almost. Salty sea spray arcs through the air, caught in the moonlight. It shimmers sharp as knives. Hesitantly, you take a step back. You are a little afraid of the sea. It is so restless, so deep, and so all-consuming. It reminds you of a hungry monster. You have never submerged yourself beneath the ocean before. You never had the opportunity. You do not even know how to swim. Oh. Well? You are fearful for your own safety should you consent to dive beneath the undulating meniscus of the water, but... Do not look so frightened, dear one. I will be with you, and I will not let you go. You have my word. Shyly, you glance at the mermaid. She is still perched upon her rock, her hands folded neatly upon her... well... She does not have a lap, not really. You're still afraid, but the mermaid's reassurance does help. Has she not told you numerous times that she is nothing if not honest? I feel like... maybe she should teach us how to swim first. That would be romantic, and then also we would know how to swim. You trust her not to break her word. She will not leave you beneath the waves, abandoning you to a cruel, lonely fate to become the food of so many fish. Of that you are certain. Maybe she'll, put a, like a Little Mermaid-esque treasure trove, and we will be under the water, but she'll be there, hanging out with us. We'll be dead, though. That is why, despite all of your misgivings, you find yourself nodding your head. If that is what she wants, then you will accompany her. You are interested, too, in what lies beneath the ocean's surface, out of sight. Oh, I knew that you would agree. Thank you very much for humoring me. I will endeavor to make these next few moments the most memorable you have ever experienced. Now, would you care to come with me? I shall be your guide. The ocean's depths might be dark, but I will not let you get away from me. I promise. The mermaid extends her hand towards you, a hand which seems to cut through the moonlight just like a blade. The moon's celestial rays play against the mermaid's upturned palm so that it shimmers. The mermaid's hair, too, is glowing, backlit by Celine's glow so that she almost looks like an angel. Her beauty is such that for a few moments you cannot do anything, neither step towards her nor back away. You feel frozen in place, rooted into the sand like some shore-growing tree. I am assuming maybe Celine is like a star or something. What did it say? Or the moon, maybe? I was close. I was close. You still do not understand why the mermaid has taken such an interest in you, but an old adage does occur to you. You ought not to look a gift horse in the mouth, or ignore the pleas of a graceful, dignified mermaid. You reach out, your arm shaking like the skinny bow of an ancient tree, and find the mermaid's hand with your own. The mermaid's fingers curl about your own. Her nails, only now you notice how sharp they are, digging into your skin. I do think it would be, her eyes have adapted, but I think it's interesting that she seems to be nocturnal. Even though she was saying, oh, it's like so much brighter up here. So I feel like she does have to be able to see. Though the mermaid herself looks very soft, her grip is surprisingly strong. You do not think, if she willed it, you would be able to get away from her. But why would you want to? She does not mean you any harm. Now let us be on our way. There is much to see in my underwater kingdom. I cannot wait to show it to you. The mermaid turns towards the ocean, as do you. Brief moment passes, wondering would you allow yourself to stand there, your hand claimed by the mermaid's as the wind buffets your hair and your skirts. There's a lot. There's also like the theme. I feel like there's been a few themes of like being consumed by the water. You inhale deeply. The smell of the salt is heavy in the back of your nostrils, so much so you could choke on it. It's not a particularly pleasant smell, but you have grown accustomed to it after living in your tumble-down cottage by the shore. Also, it's going to be cold. It's going to be really cold. We might go into shock. It is nostalgic, almost. You have a vague feeling as you stand on the precipice between your world and that of your aquatic companions that you might never be able to smell the salt in the air like this. That is just a silly supposition, though. You are being foolish. The mermaid will return you back to the surface in due course, will she not? You hope that she will. You, unlike her, cannot breathe underwater. You open your mouth, meaning to ask the mermaid about this fact, but you are not afforded the opportunity to speak. The mermaid has already shifted, her fingers still twined about yours. She dives forward, her body slicing through the surface of the water like a knife, and you, inexorably, are dragged along with her. This is going to be fun for maybe a few seconds. This is just for a few seconds. This is going to be really nice. The water rushes forwards to meet you in a sudden, shocking rush. The mermaid's descent might be graceful, but yours is anything but. You do not know how to position your legs, and your limbs feel awfully ungainly. The shock of the water as it touches your skin, meanwhile, is intense. You did not think that the water would be this cold. No, it is not just cold, it is freezing. It feels as though all the warmth has been sapped out of your skin. See, okay, she can drown me, but I don't know if I'd let her drown me in cold water. I hate cold water. The music is getting muffled. Honestly, like, drowning is terrifying, but fish, drowning, anything for her, I'd do it. Cliff climbing, I'd do it. You do not gasp, however. You cannot. You've already been submerged. Your body no longer feels as though it is your own. Your hair is unspooling behind you like thread, and your skirt is fluttering. Your body rocks to and fro as though being soothed in a mother's arms. It is a curious feeling, but it is not wholly unpleasant. If only it were not so cold down here beneath the ocean's depths, you might find it relaxing. It is dark under the surface of the water, yes, but you have not ventured so very far, not yet at least, that the glow of the moon cannot penetrate its depths. Your surroundings are illuminated, though faintly, and thanks to this precious illumination, you can see the schools of fish swimming about you. Their scales all glisten as they arc through the waves like rainbows. They do not look like life forms. They appear instead, to your fairy tale-addled mind, to be ancient relics brought to life through some strange arcane sorcery. This is an Ossia moment. They are pretty. No, that word is not significant enough. They are beautiful. You did not know, as you stood upon the shore, how very full of life it was beneath the water's surface. You did not know either how very beautiful these aquatic denizens of the deep were. You have never seen a fish like these before, not in real life. You have memories, vague, hazy memories, of dissecting a fish once in a particularly gruesome biology lesson. I can't do it because I'm reading, but imagine holding your breath from the point of being in the water. I think we would be starting to drown a little bit by now. But that feels like a very long time ago now. You would far rather think on your present than dwell upon the past. But the seconds pass, and as they do, the mermaid continues to swim, leading you deeper and deeper into the ocean's depths. Is it getting fuzzy? I haven't noticed it getting fuzzy. I noticed the music getting muffled, but... it might just always look like that. I don't know. I guess if it gets fuzzier, we'll find out. Well, once you are close enough to the surface that the moon's light could still slice through the waves, now it is so very dark that you can scarcely see. Your vision is beginning to blur. Oh, things are going bad. You can feel an uncomfortable pressure weighing down on your inert body. You have descended, you realize, with a ripple of anxiety, too deep. Humans were not meant to descend into these depths. The water, once cold, now feels freezing. It caresses every inch of your exposed flesh, as if to sap what little warmth you might still possess. You shiver, and when you do, you swear that you hear your teeth chattering despite the water which stops your ears. The water is stubborning up your nostrils. There's so much water down here at the bottom of the ocean. It is endless. The mermaid might be able to breathe underwater, but you are not so very fortunate. Your body is far less sophisticated than hers, and it requires oxygen with which to furnish your body with continued strength, not salt water. The thought of trying to inhale the endless water which surrounds you makes you shudder. You would rather not attempt it. You do not have gills. When will the mermaid take you back to the surface? Surely she must know that you have fast begun to near your limit. You have been under the water for too long, and it is too cold. It is so dark now, in any event, you cannot see much of anything. The joy you once felt during your underwater adventure has begun to dissipate, just like the loss of the oxygen you still possess. It is time to return to the surface now, but how are you to communicate this to the mermaid? I don't know, use your other hand, smack her. You cannot speak, and she's not looking at you. She is staring instead fixedly at something beyond your comprehension. Something far away, perhaps, in the underwater gloom that you cannot see. Yeah, squeeze her hand. Anything. Not knowing what else to do, you try to pull your arm free from the mermaid's grasp. You hope that this will signal to her that she has grown too carried away in her endeavors. that she ought to cut short your expedition and return you to the shore. The mermaid does not react, however, to your attempts to escape her. Her grip does not slacken, as you had hoped, from about your wrist. It is in fact quite the opposite. It feels as though she is gripping you more tightly than she was, as if to prevent your escape. But why would she do that? You tap on the mermaid's shoulder to get her attention, a gesture which prompts her, at long last, to turn. Her fair hair billows about her, suspended in the water like a shroud. Then she says in that calm, measured, incredibly reasonable voice of hers, "Yes, dear one? What is it?" If you could, you would open your mouth to reply to her, but alas, you are a human girl, not a fish, and you cannot speak underwater. Any attempt to do so would accomplish naught save filling your pretty little mouth with water. The mermaid really ought to have considered that before she started to ask you questions. But your comfort seems to be the last thing on the mermaid's mind. She smiles at you gently, delicately, then says, "I understand. Being underwater for so long must be beginning to take its toll. Do your lungs feel like iron? Are they heavy?" So she does understand your woes. I couldn't have predicted this. There's not a world where I saw this happening. You might not be able to speak suspended as you are in the dark murky depths, but communication is not wholly impossible. You nod your head empathetically, hoping that this will be enough to make your distress apparent, but... "Oh! Yes, that will happen. It is a natural part, or so I have heard, of drowning. Not that I have ever had the opportunity to experience it for myself. I'm incapable, you see, of meeting my demise in such a manner." Now, what was that? Say that again? What could she mean? "I mean," the mermaid answers, "can she read minds? That this was a calculated act upon my part. Forgive me, dear one, but the moment you consented to sinking beneath the water with me, your fate was sealed. Your lungs will be flooded with water soon enough. Then you will die. It is not a pretty way to go. You needn't worry about your corpse bloating, disfiguring, or being eaten by fish, though. I'll take very good care of it, I promise. In death, you will look lovely, almost angelic. Is that not what you always wanted?" You do not know what the mermaid thinks it is exactly that you want, but you think she is laboring under some severe misunderstandings. You would like to try and correct her. You do not want to die, but of course you cannot open your mouth. What a pity. Well, at least it saves me the effort of transcribing your dying pleas. I doubt they would be particularly interesting. If you want to know why I'm doing this, then I would not mind obliging. I have no secrets to keep from you. Other than the secret, perhaps, that upon your first meeting, she nursed within her cold fish's heart the desire to bring about your watery murder? You would have liked to know that before you agreed to sink beneath the ocean's surface with her. I am only doing this because I have no choice. The other girl I liked, after all, the one whom I adored, disappeared. She went away, and I was never again afforded the opportunity to see her. You remind me of that girl, though you do not look much alike. You do not act very alike either. But you are both humans who, despite your delicacies, have no shortage of determination. How your kind is able to live when your lifespans are so very short, and you are susceptible to so very many diseases, is a mystery to me. Though my lifespan far eclipses your own, and I am far sturdier, I cannot help but marvel at the tenacity of you humans. I know that if I were as fragile as you are, I would not be able to exist in this world. I would be far too afraid. I would see my own death lurking behind every corner. Just as you can see your own death looming before you. It is not so very far away now. You can feel it coming closer and closer and closing its cold, icy fingers around your throat. You humans are incredible. I cannot help but respect you, weak and pitiful though you are. She respects your tenacity so very much she wishes to extinguish it? That does not make very much sense. Perhaps my words are confusing you, but it makes perfect sense. To me, at least. My beloved cowherd left me. I do not know where she went or what happened to her. Perhaps she was murdered by bandits. Perhaps she contracted a horrible disease. Perhaps she simply fell and cracked her skull. I do not know. I will never know. For many, many days and many, many nights, her disappearance tormented me. I could not help but wonder how it came about, but there were so many possibilities I could not imagine all of them. This thought terrified me. It still does. That is why I am going to take you to my underwater kingdom with me. There we can be together forever. Nothing will be able to tear us apart then. I will brush your hair, and I will dress you in the finest pearls found from the bottom of the seabed. It will be lovely, much, much lovelier than any sort of miserable existence you might be able to eke out above the water. In my citadel, you will never be attacked by bandits nor ravaged by diseases. You will be quite safe, I promise. Quite safe, yes, and quite dead too, surely. Well, yes. It is the only unfortunate aspect of my plan. She considers your death nothing more than a mere misfortune. The mermaid might be surprisingly cold after all. But perhaps you ought to have predicted this. She is part fish. Are fish not cold-blooded like lizards? You probably learned this at some point during biology class, but your lessons are beginning to feel very faint and far away now. Honestly, we're kind of a beast. I think we should have started drowning by now, but we haven't, and I've been reading this for a while. Your body is beginning to fail you. You cannot take much more of this. It is a necessary sacrifice, though, if we are to be happy. I am doing this, for both of our sakes. I do apologize for tricking you, but please, try to understand. I really have been lonely. You would be more inclined to sympathize with her, perhaps, if her loneliness was not ushering in your inevitable demise. But you are too preoccupied with your dwindling reserves of oxygen to feel much in the way of anything for your captor. You feel the pressure of the water against your eyes. They are beginning to ache. Perhaps you are crying. You do not know. The water masks much of your anguish. You have been drifting underwater for almost 3 minutes. That is a remarkably long time to go without any air. Your vision is beginning to cloud. Your surroundings, already dark, look darker still. Unpleasant and obscure, not at all like the paradise the mermaid promised you. The pain of being suffocated slowly is far stronger and far more oppressive than the sensation of the mermaid's hand wound tightly around your arm. Is there no escape for you? The prognosis, I'm sorry to say, is grim. Your fate, as the mermaid said, really was sealed the moment you met her, luxuriating on those rocks beneath the moonlight. But you'll forgive me if my sympathy is limited. You did bring this upon yourself, You reap what you sow, and in your case, you made a series of bad decisions which led to your untimely demise, which is interesting, because we only get one decision in the game, and that's where to go. Now, what do you want to do? Will you accept this fate of yours and rest in peace, or will you try to fight against it? Let's save, and then let's drown. That is a bit of an anticlimactic answer at this juncture in your life story, but I suppose it would be remiss of me to lecture you too much. I'm sure you are well aware of what a terrible series of decisions you have made. There's no need for me to belabor the point. That would be boorish, not to mention tedious. I'm rather tired of scolding you. So instead, I think I will content myself with loving you. What? You thought in your death the mermaid was the only one who would be able to cosset you? I know I have said this before, but you really are naive. You cannot escape me even if you're at the bottom of the deepest, darkest ocean. The world might have forsaken you, but I never will. I will never leave you. You will never be lonely again. How lovely. How lovely that our mermaid girlfriend is going to love us forever. Wowee. I noticed something, okay, in the extras, there's a locked option, and I'm curious about that. So we're gonna load back up. Let's fight against our fate. Ah, I like that look on your face. It's a look full of determination, the self-same determination which first prompted me to take an interest in you. I can tell that you are not happy with this ending. You did not come all of this way, after all, to drown. That is quite the indecorous demise, regardless of how many fine stones and shells the mermaid means to twine through your hair after your death. If you wish to carve out a new story for yourself, then I would be only too happy to indulge you. Just try not to get on the bad side, or the good side of any homicidal naiads this time. The drowning of fair maidens is something of a cliché. Your fate is once again in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? And now we get to go to the castle! I'm really excited for the castle. There are only 6 save slots, and if the pattern follows, there's only going to be 6 choices. I do feel like I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the castle path. This game is so interesting. This game is so interesting. I think the narrator is so fun because the narrator is so mean, and then the narrator is also like, I love you. I'm in love with you. And then the narrator is also like, you stupid idiot. You suck. You suck and I hate you. You're the worst. You should rot. So it's a very fun dynamic going on there. I guess since we're going to a castle next time around, maybe by next week I can lock down a British accent. I can at least try. And also next week, I will make tea beforehand because my throat is killing me. Let me see. This game is so good. I just love this game so much. But I am going to go make some tea. I'm so excited for the castle. I'm so excited for the castle. But thank you guys for being here. I will get the raid started. I don't know who we're going to raid into just yet, but actually, you know what? One of my model siblings, Damung, also made their model in their lives, and they're playing Celeste, and I love Celeste. So we're going to raid into Lunary Draws. But thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.